The invitation arrived in an expensive cream envelope, thick to the touch, with gold-embossed lettering and a glossy image of a luxury yacht cutting through crystal blue waters under a perfect summer sky. Inside, elegant script announced the Parker family annual summer cruise, a celebration of success, prestige, and status. I traced my fingers slowly over the raised lettering, feeling a familiar mix of nostalgia and resentment as memories surfaced. I remembered last year's humiliation when my brother Marcus had accidentally forgotten to send my invitation, or at least that was the excuse he gave. This year, they could not ignore me. I had made sure of that. My name is Sarah Parker, and I was about to give my family the surprise of their lives. The phone rang just as I finished reviewing the quarterly reports for my company, a company that had grown faster than anyone in my family ever imagined. Sarah, my mother's voice carried her usual tone of rehearsed concern. We need to talk about the cruise. I leaned back in my leather chair, gazing through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my penthouse office at the marina below. From that height, I could clearly see my latest acquisition, the 300-foot luxury yacht that my family believed they had rented for their annual performance of wealth and importance. What about it, Mom? I asked calmly. She sighed heavily before continuing. Well, darling, your brother thinks, and I agree, that perhaps this year's cruise should be selective. Selective, I repeated quietly as I watched workers apply the final touches to the yacht's exterior, polishing every surface until it reflected the sun. None of them realized they were actually working for the owner. You know how these things are, she continued. Important business contacts will be there. Your father's new partners, Marcus's investor friends. We need to maintain a certain image. I thought about the image they had maintained for years, the flawless parents, their golden son, and their disappointing daughter. The daughter who walked away from the family investment firm to waste time on some internet thing. That internet thing was now worth billions. And I do not fit that image, I replied evenly, watching one of my smaller yachts sail across the harbor. Sarah, please do not make this difficult, she pleaded. You know your situation is embarrassing. People keep asking what you do, and that little online business of yours just is not what we consider success. I smiled to myself, glancing at the acquisition papers on my desk. My little online business had just bought out our largest competitor for $4.2 billion. I understand, Mom, I said. She sounded relieved. I am so glad. Marcus was worried you would make a scene. Marcus, my perfect older brother, who had never worked a single day outside our father's firm, who had been handed everything while I built my empire from nothing. No scene, I promised. But I think I will come to the marina anyway to see you off. Oh Sarah, that is not necessary, she replied. I insist, I said smoothly. Family is family after all. After the call ended, I contacted my assistant. Maria, is everything ready for tomorrow? Yes, Miss Parker. The captain and crew have their instructions. She hesitated before asking if I was sure I wanted to do it this way. I thought about every family gathering where I had been seated at the children's table well into my 30s. The holidays where Marcus's minor achievements were praised while my major successes were ignored. The endless stream of relatives offering to help me find a real job. Absolutely sure, I said. The next morning, I arrived at the marina early and waited in my car as my family's parade of luxury vehicles pulled in. Marcus's new Ferrari arrived first, followed by my father's Bentley and my mother's custom Range Rover, all leased but proudly presented as owned. I stepped into the sunlight wearing simple linen pants and a white blouse, a deliberate contrast to their designer cruise outfits. Sarah, Marcus called out with his familiar condescending tone, came to see what success looks like. He gestured toward the yacht behind him, its massive white hull gleaming. The Aurora was indeed magnificent. 300 feet of luxury, 6 decks, a helipad, and amenities beyond imagination. I had personally overseen its customization throughout the winter. Something like that, I replied with a smile. My mother air-kissed my cheek and told me I really did not need to come, adding that seeing all this must be difficult for me. I watched as my crew efficiently loaded luggage. Not at all, Mom. I am just here to make sure everything is perfect. Perfect for what? My father asked while adjusting his Rolex. You are not still thinking you can join us? Marcus laughed, attracting attention from his friends. This cruise is for successful people only. No failures allowed. I noticed the smirks. The stories about me had traveled well. Then a voice called from the yacht announcing boarding readiness. My father frowned, confused that the captain had not addressed him. Did you arrange this rental? I asked. Are you sure? Before he could answer, the captain approached me directly and saluted. Welcome aboard your yacht, Miss Parker. Everything is prepared according to your specifications. Silence fell across the dock. My mother whispered, your yacht. I showed them the purchase photo from 6 months earlier. Did you really think you could rent one of the most exclusive yachts in the world? The Aurora had been selective since I bought it. Marcus turned pale. That is impossible. This yacht costs $180 million, I finished. But this was only the beginning. What followed was the unraveling of everything they thought they controlled. I revealed my ownership of the Parker building, my awareness of their failing investments, the SEC investigation, and my offer to buy Parker Investments at a fraction of its value. Their guests slowly stepped away from them and toward me as the power shifted unmistakably. The cruise transformed into a tech innovation summit. My family was escorted back to shore on a small tender boat. As they left, I handed them envelopes containing a photo of their moment of realization. Something to remember, I said. 1 year later, when they invited me to a modest family dinner, I attended in the same simple clothes. Marcus apologized, humbled and stripped of entitlement. I addressed the family with one final truth. Success is not about yachts or names. It is about vision, resilience, and belief. As I walked away, my phone buzzed with news of my latest expansion. Parker Tech had launched a new innovation center for underestimated entrepreneurs. Sometimes the best revenge is not just winning. It is rewriting the rules entirely.